Hello everyone, Classic Forest speaking. You know how we do it. We simplify the complicated. Alright, so today our technical analysis is on the Eurjpy. And as you can see over here on my screen, I have a very beautiful setup over here. You can see I'm waiting for exhaustion, and after completion of exhaustion, I look for a short to the downside. So I'm going to start the analysis on the monthly time frame and then give you a vivid explanation as to how I came about with this particular setup. All right, and then also give you the entry requirement before you can enter this particular trade. All right, so without further ado, let's move on to the monthly time frame and then begin the analysis. All right, so in the monthly time frame over here, you can see I have my monthly zones clearly drawn out very neatly over here. All right, so this is my monthly upper zone, my monthly mid-range zone, and then my monthly lower zone as well. And then obviously I can see a nice downtrend over here. All right, higher lows over here, and then this higher low or this downtrend has been broken to the upside with a push. All right, so you can see we have a nice push over here. Let me zoom for you guys to see. You can see we have a nice push over here. This is a nice push to the upside. Okay, price broke this downtrend and then also broke this monthly mid-range zone to the upside with a push. Okay, so price is now coming down for what? Exhaustion, because after a push, there's always going to be what? Exhaustion before a continuational move to the upside. All right, yes. So we are waiting for price to come and touch this level again, and then we look for what? A buy to the upside. All right, so let's move on to the weekly time frame and then have a closer look as well. All right, so in the weekly time frame, you can see I've identified my weekly upper zone and then my weekly lower zone as well. Obviously, it's also what? An area of sensitivity, right? And then this is that push that we saw on the monthly time frame. Okay, we saw that push on the month. This is that push on the monthly time frame, and as I said, we are going to see what? Exhaustion before a continuational move to the upside. All right, yes. So this is very clear here on the weekly time frame. You can see the pushes and exhaustion playing out very perfectly over here. All right, so let's move on to the daily time frame. All right, so on the daily time frame, we also identify our daily zones as well. We have our daily upper zone and then our daily lower zone as well. And then yesterday, you could see I had a setup over here, which I was waiting to give out the signal over here to this particular level. And then that particular setup didn't play out, it became invalid because price didn't meet our requirement for entry. All right, and then we can see over here that price has broken this daily lower zone to the downside, also what? A push. Okay, yes, so this is also a push to the downside, and as I said, we are waiting for price to come back to this particular level. Okay, this particular level over here on this monthly mid-range zone before we can look for what? Entry to the upside. Okay, remember this is that higher time frame push to the upside, and then this is that higher time frame what? Exhaustion that we are expecting before a continuational move to the upside. All right, so let's take you to the H1 time frame or the 1 hour time frame, right? And then remember I said that we are looking for price to come back to this particular level, okay, on this monthly mid-range zone before we can look for an entry to the upside. Okay, and now that we know that price will definitely make it to this monthly mid-range zone, that doesn't mean that we should what? Wait patiently for it to come. We can, but there's also what? Another way that we can what? Capitalize on that what? Exhaustion before we look for that higher time frame push to the upside. Okay, yes, so before price comes to this level, we can look for a short over here to the downside, and then after this one completes, then we can look for what? A very nice buy to the upside, as I have explained earlier. All right, so let's talk about this 1 hour time frame. Let's explain things over here. So here you can see that price broke this one daily lower zone to the downside with a push. Here we saw exhaustion, and then again another push to the downside, breaking what? Previous low over here. And then what happens? Okay, this was what? A push to the upside. So a push to the downside. So what happens after a push to the downside? That's right, an exhaustion to the upside before a continuational move to the downside. Okay, so we are waiting patiently for price to come and retest this particular level or complete exhaustion here before we can what? Enter this particular trade to the downside. Okay, and then you can see this is about 1:4 or 5 risk reward ratio as to how we take this particular entry. Okay, so there are two things that can make this setup invalid. So there are two things that can make this setup invalid. Number one is that if price complete exhaustion, but we do not see candle confirmations, the bearish engulfing candle close or the bearish pin bar at this particular level, but only a stop hands, this setup becomes invalid because you know there's not enough sell pressure to push price to the downside at this particular level. And then number two is that if price doesn't complete exhaustion but finds sell pressure around this level here to the downside, we know there's what enough sell pressure that has hit the market, and then this setup also becomes invalid, right? So that is it for Eurjpy. If you do love this video, kindly subscribe, hit on the bell icon, and then leave a comment below to help the channel out. And then remember to stay classy and trade classy. Peace. I'm out.